All right, here we are live, round two. First round, I said I didn't have very strong signal, so we're trying it one more time. Welcome to Creatively Uncorked. I'm Shanna. I'll be your artist walking you through the lovely lit moon today. So I know some of you were asking, why is this event scheduled so darn early? 6 p.m. on a Monday? What the heck is up with that? Well, actually, I scheduled that event when the studio was closed on Mondays, so it didn't really seem that early at the time. But now that I had to rush home and get set up for a live, I'm deciding now that 6 p.m. on Monday is absolutely too early for a live, and we will change all live videos from here on out are going to be at 7 p.m., just like our regular studio events. All right, so I'm seeing people still joining the group. I'll try to get everybody approved, but once I start painting, I'm not going to be looking at the group. So, and then I'll figure this out differently in the future. So for now, just keep on requesting, and I'll just keep on adding as I see them pop in. Just want to make sure you guys all get to see this painting as it comes in. So I am Shanna Cramer, and I'll be walking you through this. Welcome to Creatively Uncorked for those of you that just came in. I see we have a few more people coming in. So while we are getting started for our lovely lit moon painting today, there we are. Here's my painting. You all those of you that ordered your art kit, you have your yellow, silver, red, turquoise, black. For those of you that did not order an art kit and are going to be painting along with your own supplies, these are the colors that we're going to be using. You may notice there's no white. That's something that you can add if you choose to, but I think we may not need that today. We also have a couple of brushes. I'm using a bigger flat brush, and then I'm also using a smaller Filbert brush. Any kind of brushes that are kind of similar to this, you're going to be just fine. Another crucial tool that we're going to need today is going to be a paper towel. Mine's already crumpled, and so that's just a clue of what we're going to do with this. We're going to crumple it. Something you may want to have is a paper plate, and if you don't have a pre-sketched canvas, then you're definitely going to want your paper plate. You can put this down on your canvas and then trace around it. That's how you get your circle for the moon. And if you don't have the right size plate to match your canvas, work with a different size or just freehand it. It's just a circle, not a big deal. And also a cup of water. You're going to need water. This is one of the paintings that absolutely requires it. I mean, all of our paintings do anyway, but that is one that is going to be a for sure. Definitely going to need that color. Okay. I'll show you some of the other upcoming paintings that we have. And we're doing quite a few lives over the next several weeks, and probably longer. So we have this lit moon today. We have Lake Sunfish. This one is on the calendar for Thursday. So if you want to get a kit for that, order it before probably 3 p.m. on Thursday. I'm guessing if it goes like today, you'll want to get that ordered a little bit early on Thursday, just so we can make sure that we have it for you on time. And then our studio will be open until 6 p.m. on Thursday for pickups. So you can come in and pick up your art kit and then paint along with this on this Lake Sunfish. And this one, yes, it is in our art kits. I have to say, though, if you can watch the video on how to do this, you're just going to be a lot better off. There are a lot of little tiny details in here that are really, really hard to describe in written instructions. So I'd say do watch a video for this. And if you, at a later time, do decide to purchase the art kit but don't get to watch the video live, we'll save these videos in the Facebook group, so you'll get to come back and watch it later. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, that one's going to be on this Thursday. Saturday night, we have Milky Way, and this one will be starting at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So it's a nice late Saturday night one, so grab your cocktails, whatever you want to drink, and paint along with us on this one. This is a nice, fun one. Fun and easy. Good for everyone. And the following Monday, so a week from today, we'll be painting these blue flowers. This is one that we can send out your kit for. This is another one that written instructions are really difficult for. So that's why I'm doing it as a live. And right now, that's my main criteria for what gets to be alive and what goes in the art kit just with written instructions, is how difficult is it to explain. And if you've seen some of the instructions in the art kits, you know what I'm talking about. So this one is better to watch as a video. This one, yep, all three of these are just better to watch as videos. So some people ordered this as an art kit. I don't know if they're planning on watching it as the live or not. So we made these instructions, attempted to make the instructions somewhat clear. Anyway, I also included links to the live for most people. Onward, we can get on with this painting. Okay, it looks like, oh, people are still joining the group. Okay, so I'm trying to approve members as they come in. Another thing that, hi Jen, hi Emily, hi Natasha. I know we've had a bunch of people join us already, but their names didn't pop up. Names just started popping up for me now. So hi everybody that's already here. One request that I've had is for virtual painting kits, and a virtual painting kit would be something like you get the live instruction, you get the printout, or you get an image of the painting, you get a list of supplies to purchase. That is something that's in the works actually. But videos take a long time to make, and so it's not going to happen overnight. It will probably be available by the end of the week, at least in a limited form. So that's something that we'll send out a link for as soon as it's ready. That will be in our email list. Of course, we'll post it here on the Facebook group. But yeah, that's something that you'll just want to watch out for if the virtual kits are something you're interested in. Who's ready to start painting? Hey guys, so being that we're doing this live, you can make comments, you can ask questions, keep me entertained. That's the whole point of being live, is so we can keep each other entertained, right? Just not enough human contact these days anymore with all this quarantine going on. So this is what you're getting in your art kit for everyone that just arrived. Some of you have an art kit, I know, but you'll have your instructions, which I'll be entirely ignoring. And then you'll have your paint. You'll have your brushes, and you'll have your pre-sketched canvas. Depending on who is sketching your canvas that day, your canvas might either be really detailed with trees and everything, or it just might be a circle. A circle is really all we need. So to start out, we are going to take our silver paint. Just going to take the lid off that. All right, and this is where you take your paper towel. Take that paper towel, crumple it up, dunk it in a little bit of water, just a little. Give it another squeeze so we have kind of a damp paper towel. Who says you need to paint with a paintbrush? All right, so now I'm crumpling this up so that I can get some interesting textures. So just crumpling it kind of like that. And then I'll dip it in my silver paint. The reason that we're using silver for this instead of like gray or some other color is because the silver is very transparent. So when you dab it on the moon, you can make interesting moon shapes. And kind of rotate your paper towel as you go too. There we go. And just make it as interesting as you want it. You don't have to cover the whole thing with silver. Just do make sure you keep your paint very thin. And that looks good. I'm going to call that a moon. So getting rid of that paper towel, putting the lid on the silver, and now you have this much silver for another painting. That's all we need for this one. All right, just checking to see if we have any more people joining the group. Okay. Hi, Tina. All right, so at this point, we're waiting for our silver to dry. We're going to let the silver dry for just a few more minutes. It should be a very thin layer of silver that should dry very quickly. And then we can add our next couple of colors. Next colors we'll have, let's see, I'll have the turquoise over here, yellow in the middle, and then I'll put the red on this side. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. It looks like we are on a little bit of a delay, but that's okay. You can ask questions anyhow. And if I'm at any point painting too fast, just tell me to slow down and I will. If you are jumping in late, not that you're too late to catch up now, but if you jump in late, or if you didn't get your kit, or if you want to get your kit later, you can come back and watch this. We are saving these recordings in the Facebook group, so you can come back and rewatch them at a later date. Okay. Yeah, somebody asked, will this be available to watch after 6? Yes, it absolutely will. We are going to keep these recordings in the Facebook group. So go ahead and watch them anytime you feel like it. Okay, yep, and feel free to keep those comments coming. If this looks okay to you, did any of you expect to put silver in there? Hi, Patsy. How many of you are fighting with pet hair on your canvas? I have a little bit of cat hair on mine because I have a friend in the studio, and she likes to play in my water cup. So she jumps up here a lot and gets her little footprints on things, and gets her little cat hair on things too. So one of the things, like I was saying, we are working on virtual kits, something that the reason that we're doing this, I feel like we might get be told that we have to shelter in place and that we won't be able to go to work at all, and we won't be able to make art kits. So until we get that message, we're going to keep right on making art kits, and we're going to have them ready for you. What we're doing right now is we'll just run them out to you in the parking lot. You can either come in and grab it when it's ready, or just give us a call when you get to the studio to pick up your kit, and we will bring it right out to the parking lot for you, curbside service. So we are doing a lot of art kits are going out the door right now, which is fantastic. Thank you for everyone for ordering art kits. It's really, really, truly, I'm very thankful that this is a way that we can keep going even when we can't have people in our studio. So this is wonderful. Thank you all. And everybody who's painting along with your own art kits or with your own supplies, thank you too, because just you being here and just you watching, I want to still paint with you, and I love being able to still paint with you. So this is great that we can all paint together. And for those of you that are not using our art kits, that are using your own supplies, is anybody using anything besides acrylic? Anybody using watercolor maybe, or oils, or anything else? Be curious to see what the difference is and how it ends up at the end. Also, if you wanted to post your results when you're done, you're all going to have these fabulous lit moons at the end. So go ahead and post those to the Facebook group. We'd all love to see it. Okay, let me know if your canvas is dry. If your canvas is dry and you're ready to move on with the moon color, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if your canvas is not dry and you want me to slow down, give me a heart. Okay, we're in a little bit of a delay, so I'll just wait a few more minutes. Just by the looks of my background, I can tell it's starting to look pretty dry. It looks to me like we should be able to move on pretty quickly, but I'll wait a few minutes. All right. And if anybody is it Fami? I know I'm probably saying that wrong. I saw your name last time too. Anyway, hello, welcome. Hi, Lori. Hi, Liz. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that our backgrounds are dry, our silver is dry, and I will move on to the colors. So my three colors, yellow, red, and turquoise. And I'll take my big brush and a little bit of yellow paint. Actually, before I do the yellow paint, first take the big brush. This is where I say I'm ignoring the instructions entirely. I'll try to rewrite them after tonight so they match. All right, so we're taking that big brush, don't get in the water. And then we'll go to our moon, and we're going to fill in our entire moon with water. So just start brushing it on. And for those of you that do any kind of watercolor, you know what's about to happen. We're going to paint our moon colors really, really, really thin with really thin paint, thin watery paint. And we're doing that so that our silver shows through. So we get our nice moon texture showing through. And if you paint outside the edges here, great. Don't worry about it. We'll be painting the outside edge all black, so it doesn't even matter. Hi, Becky. Okay, once you're good there, then I'll just take a teeny tiny, little tiny speck of yellow. So dunking the brush back in the water again. And now I'm just picking up a little bit of yellow, little tiny bit of yellow. And then mixing it with the water to thin it out, just mixing it right on my plate. I want it really thin, no globs. And then I'm going to cover the entire center of the moon. More than the center, painting outside the edges. And if you're a perfectionist, this is probably driving you nuts right now. All this painting out the edges. Okay, now I have my nice bright yellow. And now you can put the cap back on that yellow and save the rest for another painting. Okay, we'll move on before that paint dries. I'll just let you keep right on ahead painting there. So while this yellow is wet, we'll want to add our next two colors. Hi, Tasha. So no need to really clean the brush. I am going to take a little tish more water there and just a little bit of that turquoise. Again, mixing a lot of water into that turquoise right on the plate, thin it out. And this time I'm starting on the outside edge of the moon. So I'm working from the outside in. And that way it's just going to blend nicely. Lift off, like finish your blend before you get to the center of the moon. The center of the moon is yellow. And if you need to go back over any of the edges again, just make sure you wipe that paint off your brush first. And this is my version of a paper towel here. I just put a towel under my entire painting. It just seems to be better, for me anyway. Okay, so we've got this nice fade of color. You can see that beautiful green that yellow and turquoise make together. So it kind of fades from yellow to green to turquoise. And that's it for our turquoise. We're using literally a drop of every color so far. So you can, there you go, you have some turquoise for another painting. Before we move on to red though, we do want to clean the brush this time. So go ahead and give that a good swish in your water cup. And if you haven't painted before, make sure you put the bristles all the way to the bottom of the cup. Give it a good swish, and that'll help get the paint out of the bristles. Same story as before. Get that brush full of water, pick up just a little tiny bit of red paint. Blend that around on your plate. Get it nice and thin, no lumps. And again, just like with the green, we're going to start with the outside edge and work our way in. Very important to do this while the yellow is still wet. Okay, I don't want to go all the way to the center and lift off. And now we've got a nice fade. So now we've got it red and we've got the orange blend in the middle, yellow, green, turquoise. So now we have this nice full spectrum moon. And acrylic paint dries pretty quickly, so be sure to put the caps back on those. All right, now we're ready for our first break. Any questions? Ask them now. Or any comments? Make them now. Anybody want to post progress pictures? Post them now. Otherwise, if you want to go grab a beverage, need to take a break, just go do that, come back here. We're going to wait for this background to dry, which I'm guessing is going to take about 5 minutes. This paint is pretty thin, so it won't take very long at all. How are you guys holding up with the quarantine? Keeping the kids busy? Okay. Looks like everybody has already joined the group. Okay. And if you guys have any suggestions for upcoming paintings that you want to see live, a couple of them that we have on the list are, let's see, let me think about that. Okay, so we have some sunflowers. I know somebody wanted sunflowers, so we have that on our list upcoming. So we'll do that one pretty soon. That's all I can think of. So if you have more than that, then please do let me know. I actually do have a running list. There are more than just sunflowers on it. I just can't think of them all right now. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for the live paint-alongs, let me know. Like I said, I am going to take the more complicated ones first, or the ones that are maybe not so complicated. This is a nice, easy one, but it's complicated to write instructions for, and so are some of the other upcoming live paint-alongs. So that's what I'll do first, is take the more complicated to explain first, and I'll do those as lives. Hi, Anne. Hi, Elizabeth. So this is what we have on Thursday. Hi, Alyssa. This is what we have on Thursday, our lake sunfish. And we'll be painting this because it's going to be too hard to write instructions. I'll have instructions, but it's definitely going to be better to watch. This is a live video, so that's Thursday at 7. Saturday, hi Cassie. Saturday is going to be this. We have the Milky Way, and this is a nice fun painting, good for all ages, good for all levels. And this will be Saturday, 7 p.m. And then we have the blue vase, blue flowers, and this one's going to be next Monday at 7. And right now it says 6 o'clock in the calendar, but this will actually be at 7 o'clock because 6 o'clock on Monday is a really dumb time to do a painting. It's too early. It's really early. So I'll be doing this one at actually 7 p.m. on Monday. So watch for it then. And we sent out a kit for this one. We sent a kit all the way to Arizona today. So hopefully she'll have, well, she should have that by Monday pretty easily, I would think. But if that ever does happen, hi Angela. If you ever order a kit and it doesn't make it in time, you know, who knows what's going to happen with shipping in the next coming weeks. So if you ever don't get your kit in time for the live paint along, don't worry. We are saving all of these videos here in the group, so you can just come back and watch them later. And as we're sending out the art kits, when we're sending out kits that are for these paintings that we have videos for, we'll include a link to the video in the instructions. So if the instructions aren't clear enough for any reason, then you can just go online, follow the link, and that'll take you to the video. And that's just going to be the easiest thing, I think. So let's see. If you are not made out of patience and you want your painting to dry, this is one way to do it. How many of you have kids at home right now? I've been hearing so many stories. People will stop by to get their kits and we don't get to chat for too long, you know, the whole no social contact thing. And plus we're doing a lot of curbside deliveries, so we just run the kits out to people, but every once in a while somebody will stop in to pick up their kit and they'll just be like, yep, me and the kids are out driving around today because, you know, at least we're driving around because we can be in our car and not in our house. I am currently an empty nester, 3 kids, Cassie. How old are they? Are you keeping everybody occupied? Are you guys all 3 painting tonight? Or all 4, I should say. Yeah, all of my kids are grown and moved on. So, nope, if I had a bunch of little kids in the house right now, we have 5 kids. And to have all 5 kids in the home and be stuck in the house, I think would probably be a little bit stressful. So for those of you that have whole houses full of people that can't go anywhere, I seriously don't blame you at all for driving around. I mean, if you can get out into a car and drive around, that's better than sitting in the house. It's just the leaving the car and going into other places that I guess is where they have an issue. And I've seen a lot of people just out going for jogs and kids riding their bike, and we still have plenty of snow here, and kids are still out riding their bikes anyway, so. Oh, holy cow. Oh, 5, 3, and 6 months. Oh, well, your husband is a lovely man to give you a break, so you can come and paint with us. Art therapy. This is a kind of break that from reality that we just need to have. So I'll stop talking about reality and I'll just keep talking about painting. How's that? Yeah. Yeah, this will probably be a few more minutes yet before it's dry, so we'll just wait a little longer. Not a big deal. Let's see. For the virtual art kits, we just added, like I said, this is something we'll have ready by the end of the week. We just added 3 new paintings to it. We added Digitree. So these are paintings that are not currently in our art kit and may not make it to the art kit just because they're paintings that are better done on video. So we did Digitree, and let me see. Okay, just had to run get my list. All right, so we did Copper Trees and Daisy Blues and Digitree, and all 3 of those are paintings that are definitely better to explain on video or in real life than in written instructions. So if you ever want to check those out, we'll have instructions, or we'll have the videos for you. I'll send out the link before the end, or by the end of the week. I won't say before the end of the week, I'll just say by the end of the week. But in the meantime, we have a bunch of paintings that do work really well for art kits. The minimal instruction is all that's needed, and it's just a fun, nice thing to keep painting. Hi, Heather. Are you painting along tonight, Heather? Or are you gonna rewatch and paint later? And just out of curiosity, Heather, how many Creatively Uncorked paintings have you done? I know it's a few. And I just, because when I have a group of people in the studio, I can always ask, you know, how many of you have been here before? How many of you have painted before? 20, yeah. 20 is a pretty good number, Heather. That's decent. You've got about, let's see, 90 more to go to catch up to Nancy. Not that it's a competition, but I'm just saying. And you've probably met Nancy, right? I'm not sure if she's on watching or not, but, and I want to say 117, but don't quote me on that. Anyhow, 20 is decent. Where are we at? How many of you are painting along? I'm just curious to see if anybody's actually waiting for my painting to dry. Okay. Is your painting dry? Three. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait. Is your painting getting dry at Cassie, or is it just me that, you know, loses my patience waiting for paint to dry? You know. Hi, Kristen. Well then, Cassie's is dry. So I think I can show you the next step. Plus the next step is adding black, so if any of this is still a little bit wet, doesn't really matter. Yeah. So I'm curious, is there anybody that's watching or painting along that hasn't painted with Creatively Uncorked before? question I always get to ask in the studio, but I can't really tell here. Okay, so I'm just taking my brush out of the water and just drying it off a little bit. And I have this this big pot of black paint here. So I'll just take my paint. And if you wanted to, like, you know, if you prefer to get the edges first, you can do that in any way that works best for you. This is really, truly the only detailed part of this painting, so. And it's just a circle. And all I'm doing is just putting the flat edge of the brush right up to the circle. And then just pull away. I mean, you could try to go around this way, but I personally don't have a lot of luck with that method. If it works for you, then by all means do it. There was somebody that came in today that was picking up canvases for a family of 4 for tonight. Well, I shouldn't say family of 4, for a group of 4 anyway. Let's see. Hi, Tina. Hi, Anne. Okay. So I guess we have a few. Well, welcome to the new Creatively Uncorked. Creatively Uncorked Online. And I don't know how long it's going to be like this way. Probably, I'd say forever. Probably forever. Who can say what normal is now, right? All we can say is we adapt and grow and survive. Move on. Yep, so Creatively Uncorked is converted now. We still have a few events online, but I don't know when we're going to be able to run them. I know we're shut down. We can't do events in the studio anyway until April 6th, but then who knows after that. So a lot of states now are doing total shutdowns, so we might have to just go with the whole online method. And if that's happening, then, well, we'll paint with you online. We'll paint with you however we can paint with you. But you'll have to bring your own wine because we won't be in the studio where I have wine. So. Yep, probably the best circle I've ever made. Are any of you really good at straight lines or circles or perfect shapes? There's an artist that I know that he teaches some workshops sometimes, mostly oil painting. Anyway, he has this theory that that all artists either lean more toward organic, flowy shapes or toward straight lines, more architectural. So everybody's either organic or architectural. And definitely I'm more of an organic painter. Yeah, I like the free paintings, the more action paintings, the more you can personally get involved in a painting. Splatter painting, for example, is totally fun. So the more involved that you can feel like you are with a painting, that's my favorite kind of painting. So if you ever want to do some watercolor, that's kind of how I do my watercolors. They're so fun. And I definitely do have videos for those. Those are also going to be posted. I'll send them out in a link this week. But then architectural painting, that would be something, you know, with scary straight lines. Now, if you're painting along at home, yeah, right? Hi, Deborah. No straight lines for me either. Yeah, so if you're painting along at home and if you're going to be hanging this on your wall, and a lot of you might, these are pretty fun paintings. Alyssa, are you still here? This is a painting that Alyssa from Picasso and Wine in Reno, this is one of her paintings. Say hi if you're here, Alyssa. So Alyssa's studio is doing paint-alongs as well. So anyway, if you're painting at home and you want to paint your edges so that it looks a little bit nicer hanging on your wall, go ahead and paint your edges. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to hang this on my wall. I'm probably just going to repaint it white and then paint over it again another day for another video, since video is life now. Okay, short break. I'll wait for you to catch up and paint your edges if you want to paint your edges. Have a cocktail if you want to have a cocktail. Glass of wine, painting and wine, right? Rule at the studio is no drinking while you're teaching or while you're working. I, however, am not at the studio. I'm at home, in my home studio. So does that count? Does it really count? We've had an interesting last week. I'm sure everybody in this whole planet, well, definitely in the US, has had an interesting week. But we just totally flipped the place just completely upside down. So if you've been in the studio anytime in the last 3 years, oh, hi Ann, that is just fine, definitely. Relax after dinner and paint with us. And by the way, Ann, I know this is way too early. We are right in the middle of dinner hour, and I'm sorry for that. And our next paint-alongs are always going to start at 7 p.m. just for you, and also for me, because 6 o'clock is way too early. So, have you got your black circle on there yet, Cassie? Mine is looking done. I'm just going to grab my cheat sheet here so I remember where to put my mountain and my trees. I guess it's not really a mountain, it's just a little hill. Nice and simple. So that's where we'll start to use this little brush next. And then we also have our, well, I'm going to use this one a little bit more because this flat brush does a lot better at tree trunks, because you can have this little skinny edge. Oh, yeah, definitely. Thanks, Alyssa. This is the Alyssa I was telling you about out in Reno. So if you ever get a chance to check out Picasso and Wine in Reno, I know it's not anywhere near here, but so Alyssa's a friend of mine from out there, and that's her studio. And so we're going to go ahead and add our little bit of a mountain. So I'm just taking a little bit more black, and I'll just put my little hill right about there. And you make your hill as big or as little as you want it. Just gonna go ahead and fill that in. And now we get to decide where we want our trees. If you are one of the people that got all of your trees fully sketched on there for you, then by all means, take a paintbrush and fill those in, if you want to. And if you are one of those people who just got a circle, heck yeah. If we can't be creative together in the studio, at least we can be creative together at home. Is it a circle-y shape though, Cassie? That's all you really need. I mean, if it's a circle, even from way across the room, it's still a circle, right? So we'll just add on a few trees. So these trees, I'll just do a few little vertical strokes. And on that, I just take a little bit of black in my brush, flatten out the brush so that I get this nice skinny little chiseled edge. And put it down, lead with a skinny edge. I'll put a tree there, a tree there, a tree there, another tree there. And we'll put another great big old tree right there. And how many trees exactly are we putting on there? Well, if that's the question you're asking, you're probably one of those straight lines people. We're putting 7. I have 5 on the left. I don't have 7. I just totally made that up. I have 10 actually. So 5 on the left, 5 on the right. Hi, Jen. Did you make it into the painting yet? I know you said you were probably going to be a little bit late, so don't worry about it. We have this recorded for you, so you can come back and watch it later. So there I have my trees. So here is a hint if you just have your great big old brush and you want to add some trees in there right now. So these are my little trees that I'm going to add. Okay, and if you use just the corner of your brush, I'll show you 2 different ways. I'll show you the big brush and the little brush. With this big brush, just do some little taps, some little tappy taps, some little tippy taps, tappy 2 taps. Yep, let's keep on tapping a little tappy. All right, so anyway, your tree should just be wider at the bottom than it is on the top. Really, that is the only ultimate goal for pine trees, and anything else, it's going to read as a pine tree. You are just fine. So now I'll show you the trick with a littler brush, which might actually be simpler. So I'm just going to take my big old brush, hey Cody, and just throw that in the water. Just leave it there until I'm done painting, and then I'll go clean all of my brushes at the same time. Nice and easy. Hi Heather, I know, trees, right? Branches, I could just branch trees forever. It's one of my favorite things to paint, really. Just branch after branch, you could just branch forever. Anyway, so here I go. Why don't we just branch some trees? Okay, so I'll just make a little doop at the top, and that's my little top of my tree. And I'll just turn the brush sideways and then just like boop, 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 doopy doop. Okay, so I'm just kind of rotating the brush just a little tiny bit as I'm doing kind of a zigzag motion. And when I say kind of, I mean kind of. I don't mean do a zigzag, because zigzags aren't trees. And if you run out of paint, just go ahead and pick up more. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding a teeny little touch of water to my brush when I'm picking up my paint. And that's just keeping my paint thin enough so that it flows smoothly. There we go. So now we're getting some tree shapes. How lovely. So my next couple of trees, hey Cody, yeah, trees, I know. So my next couple of trees are these skinny little dead things with just some branches sticking out. So slightly different technique. No zigzags. Just tap, tap, tap. Little taps. And if you can flatten out your brush as you're picking up your paint, flip it and flatten it. And then just do your little taps. Now you're going to get some little branches. And if you have, well, depending on what kind of brush you have, you might have to just do a little branch instead of a tap. And I just have that on my next 2 little trees, or little dead ones. So not too many dead branches. And if you have a really teeny tiny little skinny brush and you would rather use that, that is a wonderful part about working at home. You don't have to use the brushes we tell you. You can use any brushes that you want. It's your painting. I'm not your mom. Probably. Except for you, Cody. Happy belated birthday, Cody. For those of you that have painted in the studio anytime in the last 5 years, you may or may not have met Cody P. And he's actually my son. And he taught at Creatively Uncorked for, boy, was it 4 years, bud? Kind of a really long time. So, but he's been gone now for about a year. He's off adventuring in the big old world. And we miss him. So, onward to a few more trees. So now I have the same technique. I have my little brush still, my little Filbert brush. And then I have my other trees. So these are, I'm all using this, the Filbert technique, my little, rotate the brush a little and zigzag it. And let's see, if you can get so you're kind of directly so your paintbrush is directly the same angle as your tree trunk, and then you can kind of tilt your brush back to about 30 degrees. And if you have this nice round edge, this nice round filbert edge, then it's going to do most of the work for you. This is kind of the Cody technique for trees. Kind of do a couple of taps for each little branch. And then it's going to have some little, it's going to look a little kind of pine tree-ish. It's going to have some little boughs hanging down. Some fun little tree techniques from someone who could paint trees all day. They're so fun to paint. Yep, Cody meet Alyssa, Alyssa meet Cody. And I am looking forward to seeing all of your paintings posted here. And like I said, I'll get you a link by the end of the week to our online paintings that have much better instructions. They're all going to be recorded, so I'm recording videos as fast as I can, which, boy, they take a long time, but I'm recording as fast as I can. In the meantime, we're doing lives 2-3 a week right now. So this week we're doing today, we're doing Thursday, and then we're doing Saturday. Next week we just have Monday scheduled so far, but I need to get on that calendar and get working on that. So I will have something also scheduled for sure on Thursday. Yeah, because everything that we have in studio that's scheduled until April 6th is gone. And if it's not off the calendar right now, it will be, because we can't do in-studio events right now. It's by mandate of the governor. So we'll be converting as many as we can to online classes, and kind of like this one. And then the rest will be converting to, I shouldn't say the rest, don't hold me to that, that's a lot of work. Whew. We'll be converting to video. So that'll be fun. And we have over 75 right now that are in art kit form that you can just order online and then paint them whenever you want to. So here, let me just show you what you get with the art kit. If there's anybody out there that hasn't ordered an art kit yet, and I'm sure there are a few. Fairly simple, right? So you've got your paint, your brushes, difficulty level, doesn't mean much, and basic instructions, okay? So basic instructions. If you've never touched a paintbrush before, some of the instructions might not make a lot of sense. And if you ever run into that, if you ever run into instructions that you need them to be a little bit more clear, just let us know. Because when we write instructions, we write them for each other, like we write them for the other artists to understand and teach from, but we don't write them for anybody to just pick them up and paint from. And we're trying to convert all of our instructions over to general public format. And we may have fallen short on a couple, so if that happens, just hit us up. We'll do you better instructions, or do a video so you can follow along. We'll make it a live painting. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask. So that is it for my black on my painting. So I'll just put the lid back on that one. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that I'm a pure genius for putting this towel underneath my canvas like this. I swear, this is just, how many times do you need a towel on every surface? For me, it's a lot. So now I have it. Yeah, so for those of you that know me, you know I have my own personal spill fairy. It's not me that spilled that, it's my spill fairy, and this spill fairy hangs around with me quite a lot. I'm sure that's the spill fairy's reason that I have paint literally on every surface of every room that I've ever entered. Which doesn't make my husband very happy, but well, I mean, you know, you step in a lake, you're gonna get wet, right? You're married to me, you're gonna get paint on you. It's just the rule, it's just the way it goes. So I am looking forward to seeing all of your paintings. At this point, we are pretty much done with this one. Hit me up with any requests that you might have. Let me know. Tell your friends about the onlines, because, and also tell your friends that they can, hey Stephanie, how are you? Good to see you. And by the way, if you're coming in right at the very end, but that's okay because this is going to be recorded. And if you want to paint along later, you just come back to the group and you'll be able to watch this video or any of the past videos that we've done. We'll keep them saved in the group, so you can just watch them there. All right, thank you guys for watching. Have an awesome night, and maybe I'll see you again on Thursday. Maybe I'll see you again on Saturday or Monday, or in the future. So post your photos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping in.